Hello, namaste. Thank you for taking some time to listen. This is a video I've postponed about 2.5 years and is one that I wasn't always sure I was going to record because I am aware of the stigma around traditional medicine, and I was slightly concerned that some people might judge me because they don't know, they don't understand what these medicines are for. And recently, a few people asked me about this particular medicine, Bufo Alvarius, also known as DMT. And I realized that not sharing about it because I was scared of what people might think of me was actually a little bit self-centered and also was promoting or enabling and supporting the ignorance around this medicine. So I am using my voice today, and I intention to always use my voice for the greater purpose, for the sharing of the knowledge that has been passed on to me, and sharing always from a place of authenticity. And so I'm going to share a little about my Bufo experience 2.5 years ago, as I said. Part of the reason why I wanted to wait some time after my experience with it was because I thought, I don't know how this is going to affect me in the long term. Although I had trust in the medicine, I also didn't have previous experience. And although at the very moment after I sat with the medicine, I thought, I need to tell the world about this. And then I thought, maybe I should just hang on a moment, just see how it impacts me. And I did. And so here we are. It's not easy to talk about medicine because our vocabulary or language has been created by people at their level of consciousness. And we use this language, this vocabulary, to talk about this realm, the physical realm, the realm that we can experience through our senses. However, medicine, different forms of medicine, traditional medicine, plant medicine, in this case, Bufo is a frog, is a toad, so animal medicine, takes us into a different, I like the word realm, we could use the word dimension, reality, and therefore describing it with these words is almost impossible, but I'm going to give it a good try. And I don't necessarily want to describe my experiences because I actually took or smoked Bufo 3 times in a week. It's quite intense. Because each person's experience is different. I mean, life is different for every single one of us. And even if we try to imagine what it would be like for someone else, it's perceived from our point of view, from our eyes. And I understand that the spirit of the animal works with each individual person the same way as the spirit of the plant, if we're talking about ayahuasca, works with each person. So if, for example, in a room, we share a ceremony with other people, each person will have a different experience. And that reminds us that when it comes to these types of really powerful medicines, all we can do is surrender and trust. And I can tell you from experience that when you don't surrender and trust, it can be quite the experience. I say it kind of jokingly right now, but the first time I sat with Bufo, I had a bit of a hard time the first few, I think it's minutes. So backtrack. Bufo is the term we use for the medicine that comes from a toad in the Sonora Desert in Mexico. And what you smoke is DMT. And so you smoke this, you hold the smoke in, and then something very out of this world happens. And what I would describe is a dissolution of the self, a dissolution of the ego. However, first, the reason I said from experience, if you don't release, if you don't let go, is because I felt like at first my ego was really resisting it. And so it was hard, not in a physical way, but in a mental, emotional way. Like it really felt like a battle with a great monster. And only afterwards, in retrospect, I was like, oh, that monster was my ego. And after that, then there was bliss. Not bliss in the sense of happiness, like attached to something, but rather a freedom. No thoughts, no worries, of course, no preoccupations, simply a connection to the whole. And if you haven't experienced, if you haven't sat with medicine, this description might be like, okay, she's gone. She lost it. And I think I may have thought that too. If younger me was looking at this video, may have been like, tell me more. And that's okay. I don't seek anyone's approval. This was my experience. But if you're watching this, you're probably at least a little interested. And even if a part of you is like, I don't believe in it, you're still watching it because you're interested. So maybe don't close yourself to it. However, what I would say is that it ain't no joke. And I say this lightly, but intentionally. And it should be done with someone who is someone you trust, someone who is responsible and capable of administering this medicine, because it's a very deep journey, very intense journey, and it can have negative consequences. And I hesitated to say this because I don't want people to think, oh, I'll never do it, because that can happen. I mean, anything can have negative consequences, or almost anything. Yet we measure risk. We make things as safe as we can. I do think there is a pre-medicine Melissa and a post-medicine Melissa. And despite the hardship of the experience, it wasn't all hardship. Of the 3 sessions I had, the last one was pure bliss and this anchoring in knowing that I was only a tiny particle of everything, yet everything in a tiny particle. And that has changed me, of course, because it helped me release a grip on something that I didn't even know I was gripping. I don't think I can describe this any better. However, it's not risk-free. It is a very strong medicine physically as well. So I had heart palpitations during and after. Now they're gone, but I think it's important to mention. And someone dear to me had, I would say, a really difficult time afterwards. So if you're interested, do some research. You can talk to me as well. I'm always open. I won't advise you. However, I can share some more about my experience. I feel like I haven't said much about it, but hopefully enough to pique your interest and help you realize that it's something serious to be taken with respect and openness and trust. Thank you for listening.